As you'll see here, I've taken our beautiful casserole out of the oven. It is the fall here in beautiful Canada. So that means home cooked, heavier style meals, like that feel homey and warm. Today I'm gonna make a chicken and broccoli casserole. Can't wait to show you how we do it. So let me show you what we got going on. I pre-cooked 3 chicken breasts that I marinated in a little bit of olive oil, some dried basil, dried oregano, salt and pepper. I've got probably 2.5 cups of broccoli that we're gonna throw on the stove and just partially steam. Then we're gonna add in some chicken soup into our mix. So we'll mix up our chicken, our broccoli, a little bit of red onion in our soup, and then we're gonna do a panko, buttered panko top with a little grate of Parmesan cheese. So let's get started. I think the first thing I'm gonna do is throw this on the stove and get that broccoli starting to warm up. All right, so I have my oven preheating at 375 Fahrenheit, which would be something Celsius, even though in Canada here we operate sometimes in Celsius and sometimes in Fahrenheit, don't even ask. Anyway, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut up our chicken, our onion, and get our soup mixture and start mixing it up in our large casserole dish here. So the chicken we're gonna probably cut into bite-sized chunks. So we'll probably take that and split it in half. And we'll get that into our pot. So I've mentioned this many times on many videos. I don't like throwing in raw chicken into any type of casserole or slow cooker meal. I like to pre-cook the chicken. When we get this in the oven, we're not really necessarily gonna have to cook everything. Everything is gonna be cooked already, but we're gonna basically be warming everything up together and get that nice flavor profile that we want. So that's a good amount of chicken in somewhat bite-sized pieces. So now we'll start working on an onion. I think probably half an onion would be suitable for this. So you're gonna want, depending on who you're feeding, if you're feeding kids like I will be, you want the onions to be on the smaller side so they're somewhat hidden, I guess. If you're got a audience that's not as particular about onions, then cut them however you like. Slippery hands here from that chicken. Average nice skills here in the average kitchen, but that's not too bad. So let me get that into our pot here. And we'll wait for our broccoli to get going. So water's boiling in our double broiler here, steamer. So we just want to make sure that we don't overcook our broccoli here. So you can see it's just starting to turn kind of dark green, which is essentially what we want. So I'm just going to turn that off and go back over to the island here for a second, add our soup mixture, and then we'll add our broccoli to everything. So I got 2 cans of cream of chicken soup here. So I think 2 cans would be sufficient, although I have 3 just in case. So you don't want it to be too soupy, no pun intended, but you also don't want it to be really dry. So I didn't mention as well that this generally I serve over rice. So the rice does a beautiful job to sort of soak in all of that goodness that you're gonna be creating here. So let's add our broccoli and we'll see how we're doing. So you can see, or maybe you can or can't see, the kind of dark green color. They're still very tender, the broccoli, which is what we want. We don't want them to be too soft, so try not to block you out here. So we'll pour in our broccoli, and let's just give this a quick mix and see how we're doing on sauce. First glance, I'm gonna say, let's open up another can. Myself, personally, I think I'd rather it be a little bit on the saucier side than for it to be dry. All right, so 3rd can, add that in, and we'll give that another mix. Very evenly coated, you'll see. Next thing I want to do is we're going to season this. As most of you probably already know, these soups tend to be pretty salty as on any given day. So I'm not going to add any salt at all, but I am going to add a pretty liberal amount of pepper all the way across here. Okay, so the next step we're going to do is I've got some panko breadcrumbs here, roughly 4 cups. I don't know if you can see that here. And then I've got 2 heaping tablespoons of butter. So what I'm going to do is going to melt that butter. I'm going to add it to our panko, which is gonna sort of help it sort of bond together. We're gonna put it on the top, and then we're gonna grate some Parmesan cheese and get it into the oven. All right, so in my microwave, 30 seconds for the melted butter. So I'm just gonna pour that over top of our panko here, and then we're just gonna use our hands to sort of work that in, because we wanna create that crust. So I think I'm actually gonna add a little bit more butter. This seems to really be soaking it up. So just bear with me 1 second.
A few moments later.
All right, so we're back. A couple more tablespoons of butter, just to be sure. And really, at the end of the day, who doesn't love butter? All right, so that's better. So now I'm gonna bring my casserole dish back up on top here, and I'm just gonna start, try not to block you out. I'm just gonna start feeding that in there like that, and we wanna create this beautiful crust with our panko breadcrumbs. Now this will also work with regular breadcrumbs if you have them. I'm a fan of panko. I find it gets really nice and crispy and still stays kind of light, even adding a good amount of butter that we did here. All right, so there we go. I'm just gonna give my hands a quick wash, and then the last step is we're gonna grate some Parmesan cheese on top. So I got a big block of fresh parm here and a microplaner. So I'm just going to pretty liberally add some parm. And as I mentioned before about the whole saltiness, Parmesan, as all of you likely know, is very naturally salty type of cheese. So again, I did not add any salt to this dish. All right, I think that's looking pretty good. So we're gonna throw that in the oven, and I'm gonna cook it for 35, 40 minutes at 350, and I am gonna throw the cover on it.
Eventually.
Welcome back. As you'll see here, I've taken our beautiful casserole out of the oven. We've got a really, really nice caramel brown color on the top of our panko as a result of that butter that we put in. And you can see the little grains of our Parmesan as well. So I'm just gonna scoop into this. It's still probably pretty hot. Let's just have a scoop here, Jay, if you can get in tight here. You can see getting through that layer. Look at that. Beautiful. You know what, I gotta try it, Jamie. Worrying about burning my face off here, as usual. So I got a piece of broccoli, a little bit of the bread. Come on. Hot. Really nice. You get that little crunchiness from that panko top that we did, as well as that creamy soup mixture and the nice moist chicken. Beautiful casserole. I hope you make this. Serve it over rice or potatoes, but I think rice would be better. Hope you make it. If you do, leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next episode.